I'm getting ready now to put my piezo electric under my bridge. And this is a 25-inch scale guitar, so I've made this guide stick 25 inches. You can see that that's where the piezo needs to go, right under there. And so you just put an abundance of glue in here. Well, not an abundance, but enough to hold it down. And when you're using hot glue, you only got so much time. So let that harden up for a minute. And you know, it's pretty hot. I really need some reading glasses on. Now we want the sound from the bridge to go into the piezo. And to do that, gotta reload here. To do that, I'm going to put a lot on top here. There it goes. Let's turn this where you can see it a little better. So I'm going to put a lot. And then I grabbed a business card. And this is how we're going to make a positive contact with the bridge. I'm going to put that in there. And we're just going to hold this down for a while. Sometimes I move my wedding ring to my other hand so that it will remind me that I have to do something. But I can't remember why I moved it. So it's time to move it back. So there you go. I was looking at the back of this Padron box, and it's pretty scratched up, so I think I'm actually, and there's some scratches on the front too. And I have babied it, but, so that's gonna, and this is from the church that I attend. It's I needed a business card. And I had one in my car because I go out praying for people and giving these cards away. So it was the closest thing I had. So there you go. Oh, I guess I need to put all this inside of here, because that wire might have been giving me a gap. Okay, still solid. And if anything, that was going to make it where it's a little higher up so that when the box is screwed shut, it maintains positive force here on the bridge. Now, here's what I'm going to use for the bridge. It's a piece of 3/8 by 3/8, and I've already cut my fret wire slot in it. And then I've got to put my tailpiece on. Already stained it black, and it's going to go right there, and the bridge here, volume knob there. So I've got my Forstner bit all set up. And then here's my jack cover. So that will work. So now I want to make sure that if I drill through here, I miss that block that I have in there. About there will do it. And then I'll measure for the middle. Box is at 1 3/4, but we're not really counting the bottom. 1 3/4, so that puts it at 7/8 right there. Make sure there's clearance for that. Looks even. I'll move my hand down. Go. I think it might actually be good to put this on, and that way you know you're centering it enough in the hole. Well, it turns out that it's so thick that it won't even, it's so thin that it won't even tighten down on it. Let me work on that for a second. It was actually that the plate would not tighten down. So I drilled my first pilot hole. It's a little warm in Georgia, so I've got the fan on for that. Sorry for the extra noise. So I put the first screw in so that I could then line it up and punch the holes for the second screw, and then I'll put that in and then punch the holes for the others. Side. Sometimes you put your glue gun away too soon, you will melt holes in the bag. In my case, I keep it in a bag. You melt holes in the bag. So now you can see there's the jack. And then it's time to put the volume knob in. Which I think I want about 2 inches in and 1 inch up. Make sure that closes well. And that it does. And for the volume knob, got to use the 5/16. Might require a little more than that. Now I've found that these big bits that I have, they are incredibly sharp. My chuck in this drill is just not hanging on. So when I went to put the neck in, the screws that I had put in here with for the jack plate were interfering with this lining up with the neck being centered. So my line would not line up here. So I took a chisel and just chopped off a little piece, which will give me another spacer there. Chopped off a little piece. So now it will close. And now I need to put the tailpiece on. So now I need to put the tailpiece on, but to put the tailpiece on, I'm going to have to secure the box shut so that it will get my back angle. I've got these number 4 by 1/2 inch for securing the top down. I wish that there were more black screws available. Now my screws for holding my lid closed, since I put those blocks in there, I like to put it a 1/2 inch in and a 1/2 inch in. That's hilarious. I'm doing the lines backwards. Okay, perhaps I need to erase that off and start over. And I'm mainly concerned about it on this end, because when I put that tailpiece in, I want to ensure that this is pressed down against that piezo electric and that the neck is all the way up against the top for the back angle. And as you know, the back angle makes it where it keeps your strings closer along your frets, but then when you get over to where you strum, it makes it where your pick is not hitting the box as much. So just putting those in so that I can get this tailpiece on here. And because this is all a bunch of curves, it's really going to take some eyeballing to get it where I want it. Now, you saw on my neck I put those blocks on there, and that's because when they cut this, when they drill the holes in this, they're wider than 1 3/4 inches, 1.5 inches. So, or close. So when you put the screws in, it wouldn't even go necessarily into the neck. So I put those spacers on it. I don't know how that works as soon as you... Well, the problem you run into there is that the neck can still shift. And be off center. And the box is closed, so you can't see it. So you have to do something to keep that neck from shifting. See that? and to keep it all the way down. Frequently when you build stuff, there's multiple things that have to occur simultaneously. And sometimes you got to put something to hold something in place.